What is up, YouTube? Slap yourself. Welcome back to another banger. Pew. All right, today's Bible verse is Ephesians 4, verse 32, right? All right, it says, "Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you." And amen to that. So, quick opinion of mine would be to always be kind to another person, right? Even if they're not kind to you or something like that, just get away from them then. Um, or even just say God bless you and move on. Try not to focus on the bad things, instead focus on the good things. God has woken you up today. He has opened your eyes. He has made you feel your whole body. Some people don't feel their bodies. Some people can't open their eyes. Some people can't wake up to see another day. Thank God for that. And thank God for everything He has given us, right? So hopefully I like that Bible verse. Thank you so much for hearing me out. Now let's get back to the markets. All right, we are in XUSD or ZAL USD, whatever you want to call it. So, I did want to look for a retracement. Like I don't know if I told you yesterday to these points here. It actually might make it a little lower. Something that I see is that it has made this big wick in the weekly. We are gonna see how this weekly closes. So if we start seeing a shift of structure at this area, then we're good, right? It's showing us that we are actually going higher. But if we don't, that means the market's just gonna dump more and more, right? So if anybody has entered a trade on this and you were stopped out, just know you should have looked more on the daily, right? The daily shows you everything that you want to see. So it showed me that we didn't have a retracement. We're having that retracement. If it's able to close below these points here, then price is gonna dump more. Yes, I would. Me personally, I would have entered at this area. I was actually about to enter, but I'm like, no, 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 no. I've done this mistake multiple times, and I usually get cooked, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna control my discipline and not enter any more trades at all. So I never entered this trade, even though I wanted it to, right? I said, nope, I'm moving on. The next trade would be Entity CAD. I was actually gonna enter this as well, but I said, no, I'm not gonna enter this. I know how that plays out. And well, yeah, it's playing out like every trade plays out, right? So my entry point was on this 1 hourly area here. The reason I say that is because this 4 hour did break this structure where I wanted it. Price made this engulfing. This one have been my entry, if I'm being honest. What would have been my entry would have been this 1 hour, 1 hourly area, which would have been right here. So this would have been my entry, and this would have been the trade playing out. Sometimes the market moves different, right? If I'm being honest, sometimes it can consolidate at this zone. Sometimes it can reject it and then go higher. Sometimes it can just dump like it's doing right now, and that's perfectly fine. That's showing me that I'm getting better at my skills. Now it's actually dumping. And now if I would have entered, I would have been okay, right? Now let's move on to the trade we're in, which would be GBP USD. So price is looking like this. So we can't be happier. So like I've said already, the emotions don't mean nothing in this, right? It could come here and then price it could take me out, right? So we are gonna be happy or sad once we either hit this or this. That is how we're looking. Rest of these trades don't really matter. Price fell. Didn't find a point of entry. Didn't want to enter this trade. This price fell. Didn't find an entry. Didn't want to enter this trade. This I am waiting for. If price could come up to these zones, right? If it can, then maybe, right? Uh, use the CHF. Price actually went higher, which is a good thing. So I was just wrong from the start. This would have been. I was just wrong from the start, right? GBP CAD has hit falling as well. This would have been an hourly trade as well. I would have entered off this engulfing here. Right here, stop loss above this zone. But I didn't like it. The reason I say that is because we have weekly structure here. If price is able to reject this area, price is gonna keep going higher, right? So I just want to be careful with that area. So I'm like, nah, why would I risk it here if there's many more opportunities in the market, right? So I controlled myself not entering in. Didn't enter, even if it goes even more down than I would have wanted it to. I'm not interested in entering anymore. Price has moved on. Like we have to move on, right? NZD USD price went lower, right? I was actually gonna look for sales, but I'm like, nah, I'm gonna just ruin my whole mindset if I do that. As you can see, this weekly has a good rejection of this zone, and if this would close with a doji for next week, that's even more amazing, right? But we just might have to move today. So unless we have it like this which that would be amazing. And one more thing on Nas. So as y'all know, I've been trying to predict Nas or basically just see on Nas, right? And I was looking for sales. At first, I was looking for sales at this zone, right? But I'm like, okay, we got liquidity resting up here, and we have liquidity resting down here. I don't want price first to take out this liquidity and then this liquidity. Price took out I think it was London and Asia highs. So price took this out. Price took this out. We had this order block here. Price came to respect it, came to retest it. Entry here, and I would have wanted price to take out these lows and maybe even these lows down here. So my initial TP would have been something like that, right? Just in the middle, and it would have played out perfectly. But this was yesterday, so this was like a 2-day trade if I would have entered right. So my skills are getting somewhat better, and as it's just more of market structure and liquidity when I see this, right? It's not like Forex. Forex doesn't really have much liquidity. Um, these what is it? Is it called futures? So I've seen price actually goes for those liquidities. Forex really doesn't go for those liquidities. It goes for those supply and demand zones, right? So and also with gold, I've been seeing that price moves somewhat like as futures and Forex. So it's like a combined mixture of both, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, that is really the update that I have. These trades don't really matter, so I'm not gonna talk about them. What matter is this trade, and that's how we're doing now. We do have some news at the moment. We don't really have much news at the moment. We have China, U.S. working on tariff cut plan agreed during summit. So yeah, we don't really have much news. So that is gonna be it for this morning. I do have to eat my oats. This time they came out pretty dry, and I also got to drink this creatine. Y'all see a difference in these muscles? So yeah, that's really gonna be it for the moment. Thanks so much for hearing me out. If you have any questions in the markets, please let me know. I'll try my best to answer them. You know, that is gonna be it for the moment. So I do have arms and back today, so I'm gonna record that. Um, that is gonna be it. So there's gonna be some gym edits of me that I do personally. Tell me if I like them. So yeah, bam.
Oh, you don't know me, 'cause I'm from a different age, and you can't see me, 'cause I live in a different age, and you could hurt me, but you wouldn't know what to say. But you should believe me, our dreams are all the same. Like a life without love, God, that's just insane.
What is up, YouTube sliders? So welcome back. It is currently 8:20 p.m. Well, I have some, I guess, good news. I'm assuming. We have one trade. GPUSD was like price actually came to my zone, and I got out right. I stuck with my 1 to 2. And I got out right. X AUUSD, right? Um, I didn't enter this trade, but I was basically hoping for price to come to these zones, and it actually did. So now I want to look for buys here. The reason I say that is because we have had that daily retest. So now I believe price should be going up from here. Something that would tell me that we're going up would be for price to show me a shift of structure in here, right? I don't want price to show me higher highs and higher lows, right? And once I see something in my interest, I might enter. I wouldn't want to put my CP auto over here, right? The reason I said that, this is the structure point, right? So it would do something like this. If it wants to go lower, and if it wants to go higher, it's gonna do something like that. So either way, you gotta be cautious on that area, right? It is Thursday, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna be entering this trade. We'd actually have to wait and see. So something I see people do is that they set like some sort of buy position, right? So let's say price comes to this, all right? Okay, it's coming, and they wanna assume instead of waiting for the confirmation to just enter. So they're like, okay, price is gonna reach here, and it's gonna go like that. No, you have to wait for the confirmation. Let the market show its hand first. Like if I'm gonna start walking, you're not gonna assume I'm gonna start walking. What if I start running? All right. Well, don't try to be like, okay, I'm gonna buy here and it's gonna go from here. You wait for the confirmation and then you enter off that confirmation to buy. You don't just try to think it's gonna go there. Don't trust the feeling, trust the market, right? I'm interested in that, but there's a low chance that I do enter. Um, reason I say that is because it is Thursday. We only have one session left, which is Asia session. Because gold usually pops around either New York session or Asia session. I don't know if I'm in her. There's a chance that I do, there's a chance that I don't. I would have to see. As I know, I had brought the account to a 3 something, 360, I believe. And I just didn't, I don't know what was happening, right? So the account is looking at 545. This is my live account, my personal live account. We did hit that trade for 178. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. There is the account. There's his previous orders. We were doing horrible 2 weeks ago. Well, not really. One trade ripped me out. Another one I was just fully running, right. So other than that, I see this having more potential to the downside. Reason I say that is because this daily did make this engulfing below this previous structure. So we might do something like this, right? Something like this to continue falling. Maybe if we do fall, maybe to like these zones all the way down here, right? I see that happening. I personally don't want to be a part of that. So don't really want to risk more, right? I already hit my 1 or 2. Why would I want to risk more, right? Um, NZD CAD price fell, and we might be having some sort of retest to like these previous highs up here. And if that happens, that's a trade for next week, right? I do like this because this daily did have a break. I would want to retest, but most likely it will not happen. Price doesn't usually come to retest after it makes this big of a low, so we'd have to see, right? If it does, then hey, that's good for us next week. AUD price actually fell more. I wasn't planning on entering. This was more of news. This candle news brought it up, so not interested in that. Rest of these trades don't really matter, right? I'm not interested. GP AUD price fell. I didn't enter this trade. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna enter. I would have entered Sunday morning or Monday morning, right? London session, like early London session. So I didn't. I used it in and I missed the trade, but it's perfectly fine. GBP CAD price actually fell like I predicted it. I said price is gonna reach to these areas, and now we're really just consolidating these areas, right? Yeah, I didn't enter the trade. I told you I'm not gonna enter it. I feel like there's just too much risk on the line with this one, right? So I didn't plan to enter. NZD USD price fell more, so I did tell y'all if price fell below these areas, I would have maybe looked for an entry if it came to retest this previous structure. Price never did, never entered, never planned. Um, First of all, my bias was buys, but then this whole thing changed as soon as we had this big rejection to the upside. So my bias would have changed to sales already, but I didn't plan on entering. The reason I say that we didn't have the retest, nor I just didn't want to change my bias because I saw this happening already, right? You want to stick. If you're wrong at the beginning, let you be wrong all the way to the end. If you're wrong from the start, let the don't try to change your outcome middle of the week. I've done that so many times, and that's what effed up my things worse. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna sell here. I see price coming low, and then I was like, and then price at this. I'm like, damn. I know I should have stuck to my first plan, and that's what helped me a lot once I stopped doing that. Right. So we're gonna see how this goes. If this is able to hit my alert, I would mostly wait for a 4 hour candle closer, or it would be an hourly trade. Like this was an hourly trade. So look how this looks on the hourly. It's pretty big, and this is like a pretty big trade that I took. That is basically it for today. If I haven't showed the fake Richard Mille, there it is. If y'all don't know the story behind this, well, it's the first video because shit, I did a story someone now. But remember the goal is to have a real one one day and a fake one, and anything in this world is achievable if you put your mind to it. If you want to say you want to run a whole mile, you could do it. If you want to say you want to run for 10 miles, train your body, and you would be successful at it, right? If you want to be good at trading, train your mindset and just your overall you, and you'll be good at it. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it. If anybody says I can't, think what you think. I know what I know, right? So other than that, it's a quick motivation like I do almost every video would be never give up. I said this every video. Just because somebody says you can't do it, you can't do it. You're the only person who could tell yourself wrong, right? It's about what you do in private, not what other people can see. Because what you do in private shows who you are. If you do something in public and be nice, that doesn't define you as a good person. It's what you do in private. And if you do in private and that is good, that defines you, right? So keep that in mind. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Just keep going, bro. No matter what anybody says, bro, girl, man, woman, whatever you is, just keep going. There's always a reward, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel, right? We want to get close to Jesus Christ as well, right? Don't try to say I'm gonna do this alone, because I said this multiple times to myself, and the outcome was not good. Go with Jesus Christ. He knows what's best for you, even if you don't like it. Like I said every video. And something I want to say is that if a rich person could do it, why can't you? If there was a rich person who was broke before he was broke, he could do it, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show that I am able and capable to do it, and then when I do it, I'm gonna be like, I did it, right? It's all about the mentality and about what you put in, right? If you don't put nothing into this, of course you're not gonna get nothing out of it. Simple, point blank, simple, complex, zero, nada, yabba yabba you. So, so thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Make sure y'all keep going, and yeah, peace.